They say you never forget the exact moment when everything shifts. For me, it happened on a Thursday evening, right after dinner. Olivia was at the sink washing dishes when she casually said it, almost like she was asking if we had any milk left. I want to take a trip alone. I set my glass down. By yourself? Well, no. Maddie and ISA are coming too, but this is something I need for myself. She didn't meet my eyes, just kept scrubbing the pan. Maddie and Isla were both recently single, navigating that post-breakup phase fueled by wine and self-help podcasts. I already knew what kind of trip this was going to be. What are you hoping to find there that you can't find here? I asked. Drying her hands, she finally turned to me. I've never done anything solo, Richard. I went straight from my parents' house into this marriage. I just need some space to reconnect with who I am. We had been married 4 years, bought a house the summer before. I thought we had something stable, maybe not thrilling, but dependable. It's not about partying, she added quickly, noticing the look on my face. It's not like that. I just need time to think. I nodded slowly. So, you want space before what? Before kids? Before you're too tied down to be out bar hopping across Europe with Maddie and her yoga instructor. That's not fair, she shot back. Which part? The trip or the fact you made this decision without me? She sighed. I knew you'd react like this. That's why I almost didn't tell you until after I bought the tickets. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a conversation. It was a heads up, a polite warning before she went ahead and did exactly what she wanted. She left the following weekend. I didn't stop her, but quietly made my own choice that night, a decision she wouldn't expect. I drove her to the airport that morning. Not because I wanted to, but because I didn't want to give her any reason to call me petty. She looked more like she was headed to brunch than a transatlantic flight, a linen blazer, oversized sunglasses, a pricey suitcase. You okay? She asked as we pulled up to the curb. I'm fine, I said, turning off the engine. You got your passport. She nodded but hesitated. You're awfully quiet. I looked at her. You're going on vacation with 2 women who treat relationships like gym memberships, and you're wondering why I'm quiet. She frowned. This is exactly why I need to get away. You twist everything. Not every situation means cheating. No, I replied, but trips like this tend to leave doors open that should be closed. She rolled her eyes and stepped out. I followed to grab her bags. She kissed my cheek like I was a co-worker instead of her husband. I'll text you when I land, she said. You don't have to, I told her. Her smile faltered. What's that supposed to mean? It means go do what you've already decided to do. Just don't pretend it's about us. She said nothing and walked inside. I watched her disappear through the sliding doors, then drove away without glancing back. That afternoon, I began reviewing our joint accounts. I didn't touch her money. I'm not that kind of man. But I transferred my paycheck to a new bank. I canceled the full trip we had planned, having the refund sent to my card. I updated the billing information for everything we shared: electricity, insurance, streaming services. Small actions, but important. We weren't divorced. Not yet. But I was done pretending I was a husband whose wife still respected him. She said she needed space to rediscover herself. Fine, I'd be here, watching from a distance. By the 4th day, she posted her first photo, a glass of wine at a cafe table with the caption, Lost in Lisbon, Finding Peace. Lisbon wasn't even part of their original itinerary. Then came Snapshot from Seville, then Milan. Nice. The 3 of them were clearly improvising, bouncing from city to city like students on a budget gap year. Every image looked carefully staged. Plates of food, sunsets over the ocean, sand between their toes. Olivia in flowing dresses and sunglasses, laughing with Maddie, or gazing thoughtfully at some work of art. But one picture stopped me. A group shot, the girls and 3 guys I didn't know. One of the men had his arm around Olivia's waist. No tags, no explanation, just a caption, New friends, old souls. I stared at it for a long moment before opening a folder on my desktop and saving screenshots. Call it paranoia or just being prepared, but I was done giving her the benefit of the doubt. I didn't comment, didn't like any of her posts, didn't reach out. She messaged me once that week. Hey, hope everything's okay back home. We just got to Barcelona. It's beautiful here. I left it unread. The next day, Maddie uploaded a video from a beach club. Olivia was dancing barefoot, a cocktail in hand. That same guy was there, shirtless, leaning in close to whisper in her ear. She didn't pull away. I watched it twice, then saved it in the same folder. Still said nothing. 3 weeks later, she came through the door like any ordinary Sunday, dropping her bags in the hallway with a grin. God, it feels good to be home. You wouldn't believe the train situation in Italy. I stood against the kitchen counter, arms crossed. She glanced around. You rearranged a bit. She stepped closer and leaned in for a kiss. I turned my face slightly. She caught my cheek instead of my lips. Her smile faded. You mad? No, I said, you're back. That's what counts, right? She let out a nervous laugh. Okay, I get how it looks, but it wasn't like that. We just needed a break from everything. Looks like you made some new friends, I said. She hesitated. You saw the posts. I saw enough. Richard, come on. You know how those trips go. People end up in group photos. Doesn't mean anything. You weren't wearing your ring. She winced. It was safer that way. We were traveling. I didn't want to draw attention. I said nothing. She crossed her suitcase and pulled out some souvenirs. I got you something, she said, holding up a Vespa-shaped keychain. Remember how you always talked about going to Rome someday? I took it and placed it on the counter. Then I opened the drawer and pulled out an envelope I'd been keeping there. I handed it to her. She opened it slowly. Inside was a printed email from the bank, a notice confirming our accounts were being separated. Under that, paperwork showing I'd started buying out her share of the house. Tucked beneath was the contact information for a moving company I'd already booked. Her eyes went wide, confusion washing over her face. You're kicking me out. You said you needed space. I kept my tone calm. I made sure you'd have plenty. Her voice cracked. After one trip, I took a slow sip of my coffee. After a single choice, one made without me, she collapsed onto the couch, shaken. It wasn't supposed to be permanent. Richard, I just needed time. Time for what? To flirt your way across Southern Europe? Pretend you're 20 again. She looked at me like I was being cool. You're overreacting. You won't even listen to my side. You had a month, I said. All I got were polished photos and vague captions. I didn't cheat. Did you come close? She didn't answer. That silence said enough. You think because you didn't cross some obvious line that nothing happened. But the moment you boarded that plane, you erased me. You wanted freedom. Olivia, now you have it. Freedom has a price. Tears welled in her eyes. So that's it. You're just done. I said nothing at first. Instead, I went to the closet, grabbed the duffel bag I'd packed for her, and placed it gently by her feet. You can stay with ISA or Maddie. You've got places to go. She rose slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. This is really happening. I looked at her. I warned you. I told you not to pretend this was about us. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. There was no fight, no shouting, just a quiet that settles when something ends for good. By the end of the week, she was gone. Maddie showed up in her little blue car to help with the rest of Olivia's things. She barely looked at me when I opened the door. Just a flat. Before heading to the bedroom, Olivia didn't say much either. She moved around the house like a visitor, taking down photos, emptying drawers, leaving half-used shampoo in the shower, as if she couldn't quite face finishing the farewell. At one point, she paused in the doorway while I typed at the dining table. This doesn't feel real, she said. I didn't look up. It is. I thought we could fix things when I got back. You should have thought about that before you booked the trip without me. That weekend, my brother Aaron came by with his truck. No questions. Just helped me load what was left and took it to storage. After he left, I wrapped myself in a blanket and sat on the balcony with a glass of whiskey. The house was quieter now, but it wasn't empty. It was mine. I wasn't angry or broken, just free. She chased freedom across the world. I found mine without ever leaving. 2 weeks later, my phone lit up with a number I didn't recognize. I chose to ignore it at first. Then the email started coming. Can we talk? Just once. I didn't respond. The next day, she showed up outside my house, arms folded, trying to appear calm. I've been calling you. I know. I locked the door behind me. You moved on that fast. I started moving the moment you said you needed space. She hesitated, as if searching for the right words. I made a mistake. I met her gaze. No, you made a decision. You just didn't like how it turned out. I thought we were stronger than this. No, Olivia. I was strong. You were uncertain. That seemed to hit her hard. She flinched. You don't really mean that. I mean every word. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small box. My wedding ring. I kept it all this time. Never took it off. Never touched it. That ring went further than our marriage ever did. She stood speechless. I walked past her to my car. Is this really the end? She asked, panic creeping into her voice. I glanced back. You wanted freedom. Now you have it. I started the engine and didn't look back. It's been 5 months now. The house sold. We divided everything that needed dividing. No court battles, just clean breaks and quiet goodbyes. I moved into a smaller place closer to Wake. 1 bedroom, simple, uncluttered, and mine. I started running again. Signed up for a Thursday night photography class. Funny how the little things come back once you stop bleeding for someone who wouldn't have done the same for you. Friends still ask, are you sure you don't want to try talking it through? She's in therapy. She might have changed. Maybe. But I don't need to know. That's a freedom that comes from truly letting go. I heard she started dating again. Some short flings. Nothing serious. Eventually, she sent one last message. A photo of the Vespa keychain resting in her palm. No words. I deleted it. She doesn't know I kept mine. Not as a memento of her, but as a reminder that real love isn't about drama or second chances. It's about who stays when things get tough. Who resists temptation when freedom looks inviting. She left to find herself. I stayed and found me. I'm dating again, slowly and carefully. I don't chase fireworks anymore. I look for the quiet, the steady, those who stay when no one's watching.